The online dragons are making their way to the den, two multi-millionaires who will make or break the dreams of cash-hungry entrepreneurs.
Hello, my name is Leon Doyle. I'm the owner and founder of the Master Menu Limited. Today I'll be pitching for £10,000 for a 10% equity in my business. I'm sure you're possibly too familiar with this site, countless takeaway menus being delivered through the door on a daily basis, only to be used once or thrown away, along with the junk mail. So I came up with the idea of compiling all the local takeaway menus into a neat and tidy brochure, taking away the hassle of the fast food owners by designing, printing and distributing 10,000 brochures per town. So let me show you what it's all about. This is the master menu that gets delivered through the doors. It's a 20-page brochure with all the local takeaways in, with the prices and dishes for people to choose from, along with a unique special discount created by the master menu for the end user to use, which makes it more of a convenient menu to have in their house, along with tidying up the clutter and waste. Okay, so where am I at the moment? Well, I've currently test marketed in 3 towns, 2 in Newcastle and 1 in Leeds, predominantly the student market for the time being, as market research has shown that they are the biggest consumers of the fast food industry. And what I aim to do with the investment is look at opening up a franchise model with the brand, the Master Menu, and also creating an online editing tool whereby franchisees can easily adapt a master menu, and they don't have to go through training of design, etc. I'll talk to you about the revenue streams. What I aim to be doing is taking on 42 student towns over the next 2 years and turning over £210,000. Obviously, with the franchise model, if, for example, I had 10 franchisees on board, I could replicate that turnover to £2.1 million. I look forward to answering any of your questions, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Leon. I'm Julie. How much have you done to get this far? How much have you put into it to kind of roll with it so far?
Sure. Well, there's 30,000 master menus in circulation so far.
How much money have you put in?
£1,000.
It was £1,000,
yeah.
Okay. And then the £10,000 is to roll me through what you want to do with that money.
Okay, I've been working with a bespoke developer who tells me that the concept of making a template ready so the master menu can sort of look the same.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So just brand recognition, really. That's going to cost £4,000.
Okay.
The best quote I've had so far, obviously, with the complexity of it. And the remaining £6,000, again, speaking with franchise solicitors, they tell me that it will cost £6,000 to set up the model, along with all the legalities.
Has your company made any profit today?
Yeah, sure.
How much profit has it made?
Okay. Well, for the Headingley, the Leeds master menu, for example, turned over £3,500, and I took £2,000 profit, net profit. So gross is £3,000.
Okay, so overall, with the 3 that you've done, how much profit have you made?
£6,000.
£6,000. Now, you're planning to sell franchises, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. How much are you going to charge for a franchise?
£5,000.
£5,000?
Yeah. And take a stream of 20% of their turnover every year.
Okay, so let's say I'm interested in buying your franchise from you. What are you going to guarantee me in terms of revenue?
It would be the brand of the master menu, the knowledge of exactly when the best timings, etc., to deal with takeaway owners, the design system, whereby it means they have very little training whatsoever to be able to produce a master menu.
So brand, knowledge, what else?
Brand knowledge and the simplicity of producing a master menu.
So I hand you over £5,000, yeah? And I'm going to be allowed to use your brand.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to tell me how to do it.
Yeah.
And you're going to explain to me how simple it is. And then I'm going to give you 20% of my revenue.
Yes.
Do you think people will buy that?
What they would buy into is, presumably, the brand is going to be, it's a bit like the yellow pages. I want that wedge between people's takeaway drive. I want people to sort of want the master menu coming through their door.
Shaf Rasul doesn't seem to be convinced by Leon's franchise model. It's a concern that Julie Meyer wants to explore further.
So you want £10,000 for 10% of your business. You're valuing it at £100,000 today.
Yeah.
And so that means that over kind of a reasonable period of time, let's say 3 years, to give me a 10x return on my investment, you're going to find a way to sell this business for £1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who are you going to sell it to?
Actually, I don't have the answer to that. I thought that you could just sell. I mean, I know it takes a lot of work and a good year of strategists, but I don't have the answer. Sorry. I haven't thought that far ahead.
I think you don't need to take investors' money. It's true that you should focus on building your business, not focus on the exit. But you got to have one eye over to, if you're going to ask for money, if you're going to use other people's money to build your business, you got to tell a story about how you're going to make a return for them. Otherwise, you just grow it the way you've been doing. You're making £6,000 off of 10,000 of revenue.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just keep on reinvesting that in, and
sure.
And you'll do okay. It'll be a lifestyle business. It'll be a smaller business. But to get an investor to invest £10,000 for 10% of the business, you got to tell a story about how you're going to get that 10x return.
Right. Okay.
I don't hear that yet, but I think you're doing okay. So I think you should press on with that. But it's not an investment for me, and I think for those reasons, Leon, I'm out.
Okay. Thank you very much.
The opportunity was too small scale for Julie Meyer, who's declared herself out. Will Shaf Rasul see a way of making the business work?
Leon, you come across to me as a sort of very presentable, very sort of dynamic person that believes in the product that he's got. Okay. However, I think one of the biggest issues is I don't think that the franchise concept is going to work. Okay. I think, as Julie said, you'll have a very nice lifestyle business. I'm sure you'll learn a lot from it, and you probably go on and you'll invest in another business or whatever. But as a business investment opportunity, I'm not interested in this one, so unfortunately I'm out.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time. Bye-bye.
Leon failed to convince the Dragons to back him. He leaves the den empty-handed.
That's how entrepreneurs start, though. They start off with little small businesses. That'll make him a few £1,000 a year. How
old do you think he is?
I don't know, 21, 22?
Yeah, exactly. To do that, he just keeps on recycling the profits. He builds it up. He'll figure out the point where it's going to tip, and that's when he figures out his real model. That's when he should be talking to us.
That's right.
How are you, Leon?
Oh, I've had better days. Hi, Dom.
Gutted.
Disappointed.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were watching it. We were with you all the way. The master menu, come on, you were going to get the leaflet out at one point and everything. And then it just fizzled out for you, didn't it?
Yeah, I think the truth of it was I didn't have an exit strategy. I haven't thought that far ahead. I'm still in its early developing stages. And, I had to come clean. I didn't have an exit strategy.
Where does this leave you now? Are you still confident in the master menu?
The key things to take away, really, is the fact that, it's still a good idea. Yeah. It still will make me lifestyle money. I don't know whether that means 100,000 or 10 quid, but, I'm going to make something out of it. Yeah. And I'm going to keep going forward with it, of course.
Just before you go, can you do me a favour? Never get your hair cut. Because it's so wavy, isn't it? I love it.
Okay, all right. I'll
promise
agree.
that?
I'll keep it for as long. I mean, it's going great.
Okay, well that's fine, but it's very wavy.
All right.
I love the waves.
Well, I'll keep it for you, Dom.
Okay.
All right. Cheers.
Thanks ever so much.
Thanks
Best of luck, Liam.
Okay.